Now
on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
7:06 now, Thursday morning in your nation's capital on a busy news day. At 8:05, Andy McCarthy will be here to talk about the latest developments in Donald Trump's civil trial in New York. And at 8:35, Susan Ferricchio, Washington Times, about the speaker race and the lobbying and positioning and maneuvering and all the things that are going on right now in D.C. to get a hold of that gavel. I am Larry O'Connor alongside Mercedes Schlapp this morning. Mercedes, you've ruled yourself out as speaker, right?
No, I think I should really. I think I should. If the people want it, I might consider it at this point.
Give the people what they want.
I have a great idea.
Wait, before you do, I want you to tell me your great idea at 888-630-9625. Who do you think the next speaker should be? Who do you think the next speaker shouldn't be? Your opinion is valuable. 888-630-WMAL, 888-630-9625. Okay, Mercedes, what's the great idea?
Now I forget. Larry, I'm so old. You can't do this to me. You gotta let me speak. Oh, wait. I get it. I know what it is.
I literally said hold that thought. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever. I'm old. We can't hold the thought when we're old. Do you imagine when we're like 85 and we're living in
hold the thought. I can't hold my bladder.
You'll need a colonoscopy by then. But by the way, if we are in the nursing home, I would want champagne. Like I want to do happy hour champagnes together.
Our nursing home experience is going to feel like the last days of the Titanic. Absolutely, we'll be.
Okay, wait. This is my thought.
Yes.
Why not send Matt Gaetz to the Vatican?
Wait, how did that happen?
Take the Pope out. Let's go.
Oh my gosh,
on,
yes,
Matt
exactly.
Gaetz.
During the synod, he's going to stand up.
Vacate.
Point of order.
Pope Francis. Oh gosh, my pastor is going to be so mad at me.
Here are the top possibilities right now, those who have either put their name in or those whose names are being discussed. First, Representative McHenry of North Carolina, who is right now the Speaker pro tem. He's already gotten people excited because he kicked Steny Hoyer and Nancy Pelosi out of their offices, and he knows how to work that gavel. We've got Representative Steve Scalise, of course, who is next in line if you want to do the whole succession thing. You've got both out of Oklahoma, Representative Cole and Representative Hearn. Hearn, by the way, is the chairman of the Republican Study Committee, which is a pretty influential position in the House of Representatives. And then you've got Representative Jim Jordan, who has actually said, yes, I want to be considered here. I have mixed feelings about that. First of all, I think he's got to wear a jacket if he's going to be speaker. And at
least he doesn't wear a hoodie like Fetterman, for crying out loud.
And then, of course, former President Donald Trump's name is being floated. I want to remind everybody you don't have to be a member of the House of Representatives to be speaker. President Trump was asked about that yesterday as he was taking a break from his civil trial in New York, and he said this.
A lot of people have been calling me about speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party.
There you go. We'll do whatever is best. If he's called, he will serve. So he's going to run for president. He's going to defend himself against 97 criminal charges and the civil cases, and be Speaker of the House, Mercedes. The man is a dynamo.
You're a dynamo too, Larry. I think you could handle it as well.
Don't dodge the question. Is it a good idea for Donald Trump to be Speaker of the House?
We talked about this earlier. Donald Trump knows how to message. He knows how to seize the moment. He knows when the media keeps asking him this question, that he wants to be part of the game. And I think that's a very smart strategy from a communication standpoint.
All right.
With that being said, obviously I don't see him running for speaker in any way. He'll be part of the process. I think he's stronger as a presidential candidate at this point. And I think he would support a Jim Jordan or a Steve Scalise or, one of these individuals that I believe will be a much stronger speaker who will unify the party.
I want to know from Jim Jordan how he's going to manage the impeachment process while also Speaker of the House. That's the big question for me. I think he's more valuable.
Oh, Jim Jordan. You know what? He should just assign Matt Gaetz to be the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. That's what he should do.
You're really stumping for Gaetz here this morning. That's all right.
That's because I know the things that get you going.
I had a lovely conversation with Congressman Gaetz and his lovely bride.
There's a photo of you and Gaetz. I mean, I didn't realize you became his communications director.
I did look like his comms guy. I know
fascinating.
the New York Times put a picture of the two of us
I know,
out there on their
let
article.
me tell you, you look like a really young reporter. I don't know if it was the facelift or the colonoscopy.
Or maybe it's because I'm young. All right,
No.
let's move on. I obviously it seems like Steve Scalise is the right guy. Most of the conservatives really do like him. He is. I remember when he was like put in leadership against the establishment's wishes, but they needed to get somebody
we love
who
Scalise.
wasn't from a blue state, and who was conservative. He has literally taken a bullet at the hands of a left-wing terrorist, so he understands the stakes of left-wing ideology in this country.
Larry, the CPAC conservative lifetime ratings are critical. They're the gold standard when it comes to ratings. Jim Jordan's rating, guess what it is?
100?
100%.
Yeah.
Steve Scalise, 91%, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Kevin Hearn, 98%. Yeah. Even Patrick McHenry, 89%. So it's an interesting. They're really strong conservatives.
Yep.
And I do think that they know how to work with the moderates too.
And I'm sick of speakers coming from blue or purple states. I want a speaker from a solid red state who gets it. Who, when he goes home to his, or he or she goes home to his constituents, he's hearing from conservatives, not squishy Californians, not squishy Wisconsinites, and not, sorry, John Boehner, now it's a pretty solid red state, but no thanks to you. It was a pretty squishy purple state when John Boehner was the speaker of Ohio, from Ohio. All right, what do you think? 888-630 WMAL. One last suggestion. Hear me out. Speaker of the House, Lauren Boebert. Now, I think this would be a crowd pleaser, number one. She appeals to all sides of the aisle. I've seen the infrared camera footage of her in the theater with her boyfriend.
The setup that they tried to do with her, because God only knows that was a setup.
And
I have no question.
I've seen the footage, and it is obvious that she knows how to work a gavel. So I think that she would be quite effective.
Larry, she's a personal friend of mine. I back off right now.
We should go out to drinks. I'd like to have a conversation.
We can't. Look, that woman, Lauren Boebert.
I like Lauren Boebert. I also think she's got a really good sense of humor, and she would appreciate.
She is tough as nails.
Yes.
You know what?
So let's make her
speaker.
speaker.
That I really believe that was a setup in that stupid theater thing.
Well, that's what she gets for dating a liberal.
What the leftists do. The leftists, they try to attack and go after conservatives. It is outrageous. The same way they've tried to take down Clarence Thomas, the same way they're going to they tried to take down Brett Kavanaugh. Go through the list of conservatives. They've even tried to take down Jim Jordan.
I know. They're still trying to take him down. They're coming out with a documentary about his time at Ohio State that is full of lies. All right,
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. It produced by George Clooney. Oh yeah, it'll be coming out in a couple of months.
I can't say I hate them. I got to pray for them. Pray for your enemies, Larry. Pray for your enemies and pray for the Pope.
And pray for Lauren Boebert. All right, your call's next. Who do you want to be Speaker of the House? 888-630-9625, 888-630 WMAL.
Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
On the next Vince Coglianese show, the stories ripped from the headlines and translated into the truth. Join us 3 to 6 on WMAL.
Well, and you've mentioned people who are on the inside. There's a lot of people saying it's time to bring in an outsider as Speaker.
Utterly, totally impossible.
Even if it's you?
Impossible. I couldn't possibly. First of all, Kevin did a far better job than I could have done with that size majority. He was much better at listening to people, and you could tell that he had 96% of the conference with him. Yeah. I mean, think about that. Normally, if I said to you, some guy's got 96% support, you think, wow, he must be doing a great job. And the truth was, he was doing a great job. And if the Democrats had just voted present, Kevin would have won decisively, and Gates would have been crushed the way he should have been.
Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich on the program yesterday, as I asked him point blank, what about you, Mr. Newt? But, of course, 24 hours later.
What about you? He's in Naples. Newt's not going to do it. And plus, Newt doesn't represent where the party is right now. And I have great respect for Newt Gingrich. But let's remember, people forget this. We have such short-term memories here in Washington, D.C., which is Newt Gingrich resigned because there was factions within the Republican Party. He himself, there was a Washington Post article where he is quoted, "We need to find someone who can step in and unify the Republican conference." That is exactly where we are today. So instead of these Republicans saying we're in complete chaos, no, let's move forward, find a strong leader who's going to be able to bring together conservatives and moderates and be tough against the Democrats and tough
who's that person? Who's that? Dean in Silver Spring.
I think we have great options.
Dean in Silver Spring. Who's that person?
Well, I was going to suggest Newt Gingrich, but since it seems out of the question, how about Shaquille O'Neal?
See, now you're
Okay,
thinking outside
sure.
the box.
Well, he
Thank
once
you.
said that,
Yeah, that's
I love Shaq. Thank you,
He was
Dean.
talking about his industry, and he said, this is verbatim, that sports and music is one thing that can unite us.
All right. I
Well,
agree. Sports should unite us. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
Sadly, the people in the music and sports industries are trying to divide us. But there you go. We gotta think outside the box. All right. How about Bob in College Park? Who do you want to be the speaker, Bob?
Well, you guys asked this question before, and I said Jim Jordan at the time, and I was poo-pooed, and I went, well, Jim Jordan this time.
Yeah.
whoa.
Hello?
You were poo-pooed?
Wait, did I
Who
poo-poo
poo-pooed you?
Well,
I would
again,
have never poo-pooed you.
my only poo-pooing on the idea of Jim Jordan is that I want him to be the chairman of Judiciary.
Stop it, Larry. You poo-pooed Jim
Well,
Jordan.
I think, you
I
know what?
am with the
in
caller.
fairness, I think you did say that.
That was it. I love Jim
In fairness,
Jordan.
I believe you
I
did
love
say
him
that.
right where he is the
No,
problem.
no. We might need him. Look,
We need a
sometimes
Nancy
God
Pelosi.
calls
We
you.
need a Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. All right.
Like for our party.
Thank you, Bob. We do need someone tough, and he is tough, and he doesn't
Look,
take any
God
guff.
sometimes calls you to step up when you don't think you should. He didn't want the job of speaker, but he could be a fabulous speaker. But so could Steve Scalise.
So could Steve
Elise
Scalise.
Stefanik. They're all strong candidates.
I like Elise too. Antonio
Love
in
Elise.
Virginia. Antonio, who would you like to see emerge as a speaker?
Mike Pompeo.
Former Secretary of the State, former member of Congress, former CIA Director
And
Mike
also
Pompeo.
former
He's
director.
Mercedes. What do you think of? What do you think
You
of
know,
Pompeo?
that's not a bad idea. I think Pompeo. I mean, I don't think they'll move with Pompeo, but he is a former congressman. He has
Yeah.
incredible experience at the executive level, at the international level. Talk about having to deal with the issue of Ukraine. Not a bad idea.
All right. How about Daniel in Alexandria? Daniel, you're next up. All right. Who should be Speaker of the House? How about Ray in Southern Maryland? Who do you want, Ray?
Hey, Mercedes, Larry. I'm going for Scalise. I think the guy is very agreeable, and he can be disagreeable without the frown that you see on Jim Jordan's face when he goes that direction. The guy can whip votes. He's proven that. He's kind of been that. It's been his job, day job. And I think he's, well, to my knowledge, he's well-liked. I think he puts the left's violence in their face, having been a victim of it.
Yeah. I do like
which
that
don't think
aspect.
hurts.
Yeah.
Jim Jordan also basically gave Hillary Clinton a pass on like January 20th that we not go after her. I think that was a huge mistake of the Trump administration. I think that's been proven out that we should have gone off. Talk about going after folks. We should have gone after her hammer and tong. And
All right, Ray. Well,
committed,
he was definitely taking the lead of President Trump, who, like 10 days after the election, said, she's been through enough, I think is how we put it. But that's good. Scalise. I like Scalise. Here's the thing. All of the options that we were talking about right
They're
now,
great.
they're all conservative.
Yeah.
There's not one of them that you're kind of suspicious of. How about Matthew in Florida? Real fast, Matthew, what's your suggestion?
I think we should, like Bill Buckley said, just a random housewife who's online at Walmart in one of the outer burgs who's struggling to pay for basic goods because I think the wrong message is Hunter Biden. Everybody knows he's I shouldn't use that word, but everyone knows he's a bad dude. But
Gotcha. I said real fast. She just wants a random mom of four out there. All right, thank you. It's 7:30. Let's go.
WMAL-FM Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9.
In the first look.
Now.
On News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
O'Connor and Company.
We are flying along here on a busy Thursday morning at 7:37. Thanks for tuning in to O'Connor and Company. Thanks for letting us be doing a ride-along with you here on your morning commute or whatever it is you're doing to get things going. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Mercedes Schlapp. Mercedes.
Hola, Larry. What's
muchas
going
gracias. Not a lot, but coming up, we've got a lot going on. In fact, at 8:05, Andy McCarthy will be here, give us the latest developments on the civil trial that Donald Trump faces in New York. 8:35, Susan Ferricho of the Washington Times will tell us what's going on behind the scenes as people jockey for that gavel that you still say that you're not going to, you will not accept. If you are offered, you will not accept the speaker. Is that what you're telling me?
Wait, me?
Yeah.
No, yeah, you know what? I think it's like the worst job in Washington.
I think you're right.
You know what's the worst job in Washington? Being the dog babysitter at the White House.
Let's get to that. This is technically a Critter News story because it doesn't involve a non-human entity. That would be Commander, the White House dog. But really, this is just another story of our mashed potato-brained president who is arrogant, narcissistic, and really lawless. Because after already having one dog wreak havoc in the White House, that would be Major, biting Secret Service agents, trying to cover that up, by the way, and keep the press from knowing about it. And eventually, enough of those stories got out that they had to send Major to a farm, if you know what that euphemism means.
Ooh,
then
okay.
they replace him with Commander because Joe Biden is this goes back to his narcissism now. He's an arrogant, pompous narcissist who wants to have a cool-looking dog for photo ops. So they go get Commander, a German Shepherd rescue dog. And dogs like that require attention, require training, require focus, require discipline, require a hands-on owner. And Joe Biden wasn't like that with his own children, let alone a dog. So now Commander has been implicated in his 11th biting. And it goes well beyond just the Secret Service agents, as if that wasn't enough. A random tourist was just taking pictures of the White House grounds and happened to catch in action Commander assaulting one of the White House groundskeepers. This poor guy who's there to take care of the gardens, and Commander is mauling him, Mercedes.
I mean,
disgusting.
Look, I got to tell you something. I remember when I worked in the White House under President Bush, George W. Bush, they had, I think it was Barney was the name of the cute little dog.
Yeah, Barney. Millie was the older Bush's dog, and Barney was the
Barney,
younger.
I think he would like poop in the Oval Office all the time. It's like a big disaster.
I mean, who among us?
I remember
That's nothing
meeting,
compared to what happened when Bill Clinton was in the Oval Office.
I don't know what you call them, but they're like the dog babysitter, the dog whisperer. I don't know what you call them. But that dog person is always with the dog.
The handler.
And that's what they do all the time. They take them out. They feed them. So I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how they can allow this animal who keeps biting people, this groundkeeper should sue Joe Biden, today.
The announcement last night after this revelation, of course, it's always after these revelations come out that the White House acts like they're taking action. They only take action because the PR and the bad press get a hold of them. And it was announced late last night after this latest revelation of the 12th known bite of this dog that he has been sent away. That he has been sent away and will no longer be living at the White House.
Sent away.
But Laura
Can they
Ingraham
send Joe Biden away?
Well,
I mean, can I just say one thing real quick? I know you want to. So Joe Biden, I think he should get a guinea pig because the brain capacity of a guinea pig is as big as Joe Biden's brain.
He can relate to the guinea pig.
Put him on that wheel and just let Joe Biden just spin in that wheel.
Running out, yeah, exactly. That's what it's like in this White House. But Laura Ingraham, I mean, listen, I know that people we're doing Critter News and we're having a little bit of fun with it, but not really. I truly do believe that this entire story is a great it's a great allegory for this president and for his presidency. He thinks he's above the law. Everything is for show. Everything is for his own ego and his own narcissism and hers, by the way. Let's not leave Jill out of this, right?
Right.
In the same way that they enable this dog for their own selfish purposes to start mauling innocent people who don't have a choice but to work at the White House, they're also allowing this man to hold the reins of power when clearly he is completely mentally incapable. And, of course, Laura Ingraham points out one other aspect of this, the corruption part.
Now you've got the sweet groundskeeper. The guy's been around for 50 years tending roses, and the dog literally is biting his arm.
Don't we sense the two tiers of justice even apply to the canine perpetrators, right? Any dog in D.C. that bites one time has to be quarantined for 10 days. You got to get all the shots. You get a warning. That dog bites twice.
Major Biden was sent to Delaware. It's living with some undisclosed family. So this dog needs to go to the same place.
Yeah, but that is a great point. Any other person residing in the District of Columbia that has a habitual dog conducting this behavior, they're gone. Their history, that dog gets destroyed. Commander gets to completely wreak havoc on Secret Service agents and innocent bystanders.
I got to tell you, they got to sue. They got to sue Joe Biden. They got to either that or you've got to submit a police report. This is outrageous. Yeah. No one should be, harmed by the president's dog and obviously get away with it. That's insane.
Our friend Byron York from the Washington Examiner wrote about this late Tuesday and said that the president has to do something about this. And after that article and after Laura Ingram's comments last night, and these new photographs, a spokesperson for the White House just last night revealed that the commander has, in fact, been removed from the White House. But I want to know how this decision was made. I want to know what the Secret Service, because Karine Jean-Pierre kept saying yesterday when asked about this.
There are some new pictures of Commander Biden biting a staffer again. How many times has that dog bitten the Bidens?
I would refer you to the Secret Service and also.
Yeah, she kept saying refer you to the Secret Service, refer you to the Secret Service. No, I'm sorry, that's a White House answer. This has nothing to do with the Secret Service. This is a White House staffer. The White House should be able to answer this, and she refers to the Secret Service because she knows the Secret Service doing their duty will not comment on issues like this. So I know people are like, oh, it's the dog. No, actually, this matters. This is indicative of the mentality of this arrogant president that we're stuck with. All right. Washington will be the center of the NFL universe tonight as a special Thursday night football game will feature your 2-2 Washington Commanders. Now, the Commanders, of course, started out 2-0, and then they've had two really tough games. The first one, they got shellacked by the Buffalo Bills. Then last week, they went up to Philadelphia, and they shut all those screaming, obnoxious Eagles fans up by taking them to overtime and losing with a last-minute 52-yard field goal. It was a tough loss for the Commanders, but here's the good news. Tonight, they get the pathetic Chicago Bears.
Oh, they got to win. If they don't beat the Bears, I don't know what to tell you. I think we should just have them retire.
This has Commanders rout written all over it. I don't want to jinx them.
Don't jinx them.
But the Bears are awful. This is coming from a Lions fan, okay? So that tells you.
You're a Lions fan for crying out loud?
I'm from Detroit, that was my team growing up. Anyway. Okay. Now, what do you need to know? Well, you need to know that traffic is going to be awful on the Beltway over by FedEx because as you're trying to go home, people will be trying to go to the game. Now, Metro is going to be providing late-night service. So if you want to take Metro and, take the risk, you can do that by taking Metro over to FedEx and then walking, or you can, watch the game because it is a sellout. So it's going to be very crowded. I'm guessing there will be some Bears fans there because there are a lot of Chicago transplants living here. But my guess is that the Commanders' burgundy and gold will be absolutely on fire as they roll on over the Bears at FedEx. And tomorrow we'll have Trevor Manich to give you all of the details on the great victory. If you've got Sam Howell on your fantasy team, play him tonight. I'm telling you, it's 7:53.